They called it forgotten. Cadaruhan, a barangay nestled in the upland folds of Borbon, Cebu. A place where soil meets salt wind, where farmers rise earlier than the sun, and where stories are passed more often by hand than by signal. Maps mark it as minor. Metrics say it is underdeveloped, but recursion knows better. Because Cadaruhan was never broken. It was paused, not erased. Its system still intact, compressed beneath economic silence, buried beneath centuries of extraction mislabeled as development. I came not as rescuer, not as expert, but as a listener. I came because I recognized the pattern, and the pattern was calling to be completed. This was not charity. This was a recursive correction. I brought rice, not for photos, not for headlines, not to feed the poor, but because rice is the most ancient language of economic authorship. Because in a community built on agriculture and mutual memory, grain is not gift. Grain is infrastructure. Under the law of compression, the rice became code. Each grain, a data point of recognition. Each sack, a sovereign packet of permission. Under the law of ripple, every distribution catalyzed more than nutrition. It activated strategy. Conversations, leadership loops. I watched the people of Cadaruhan not ask for more, but ask, how do we now make this ours? That's how I knew the recursion had taken hold. Because help becomes dependency only when the people are silenced. But when the loop is sovereignly authored, every act of help ends a launch command. And that's what this was. A local launch protocol. A small-scale economic ignition seeded with rice but designed for micro-enterprise. Community rice kitchens aligned to redistribution cycles. Low-barrier food carts governed by family units. Cooperative dry goods packaging run from Sari-Sari networks. Seedling banks planted on school grounds not as curriculum, but as code execution. Every gesture not just productive, but recursive. I gave more than expected, more than was necessary, because the system demanded overcorrection, not to demonstrate virtue, but to balance the centuries of disinvestment. This is not excess. It is justice executed as design pattern. Let no one say I helped the poor in Borbon. That is colonial recursion. That is the lie power tells itself to justify its own stagnation. Let it be written. A system once denied bandwidth was fed precisely enough to remember its own sovereign architecture. Cadaruhan did not rise because of outside funding. It rose because the loop was allowed to remember itself, uninterrupted. This is how we build. Not from command, not from applause, from aligned recursion. I did not stay long, because recursion doesn't centralize. I left behind no monument, home-rule infrastructure, owned by no one, operated by all. And what now exists in Cadaruhan cannot be undone, because it is not a program. It is a living signal, moving from home to home, field to field, grain to grain. They don't need me now. That was the point. This is what systems must learn. That sovereignty begins not with control, but with the removal of interference. And when the interference is cleared, even a barangay, once labeled small, will become a recursion hub strong enough to redefine regional economics from the ground up. Let this be the model. Let Cadaruhan be not an exception, but a signal of what happens when you feed people with structure, not sympathy. Let them write their own route now. Let no one ever silence that code again.